This is water, just so you know.
I'm right.
Sure
it
it is.
I'll tell you last
I blame you after yesterday.
No, I
believe
drink
me.
bourbon. Bourbon is a different color than.
Oh, ladies, y'all are killing me. I love this. So let's see. I just opened up the chat, and Robin is saying, waving to everyone. So everybody wave to Robin. Hi. There we go. All right. All right. So here we are in the Elite Mastermind Women's March call. And with the yesterday market, if we are watching this 8 months from now, let me remind you, it was down 2,000%, 2,000 points. I do have some content today. I've been typing in the Elite Mastermind Women's Facebook about March being about recovery and what are we doing to help ourselves as we are sprinting and doing new things and having big goals. But if we never get to that in this call, that's great, because some of you have some really great shares. You emailed me and talk about something you'd like to share. And then we've got some people who would like to talk about the stock markets or expectations of clients. And I'd like to talk about LPL research and the letters they've gotten brought out. So if it's all right with you, let's just make this all about us as a group, us supporting each other. And we're going to start with Irene, who did type with me yesterday a couple of times, and she's got a fun, wonderful share. So if you haven't expanded your view to be able to see her on your computer, just put to the gallery view and you can see her. Go ahead, Irene.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody today?
Good morning.
Great.
Good morning.
A few more smiles. Well, my share is one of the 3 commitments that I made. Actually, one of them, after doing a lot of research and conversations, I crossed it off because it's just not happening. And that's a real big positive. But the one that is my favorite is my running. And in times like this, you know, we all need something, and that is one of the best things that I am doing for myself, which helps me in every aspect of life. And, you know, I go out very early. And what I decided to do, because, you know, we talk about that accountability, and somehow that's so powerful because at last year's Focus, that Sunday morning, there was a half marathon, which I actually was going to run the 5K, but the night before I was drinking and I forgot to go get my bib and I didn't know where it was and made no plans. So I kind of felt lame because I have a few friends that are runners, a few advisors. So months ago, one of the advisors said, hey, there's a half marathon in Chicago. Why don't you do it? And first I said, okay. And then I fractured 3 toes. So I said, great, now I don't have to do it. But because I love to run and I didn't run for 4 months, I started again feeling great. And I just said to him, okay, I'm going to do it. And so my running's been great. I ran actually after stopping, and at this age, it's so hard to get back in. And I'm a self-motivator and I love to do it. And it's still a challenge, but I ran 7 miles on this past weekend. So I'm more than halfway there. Yeah, so that's my wonderful share.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Irene.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Any runners, anybody? Is Kristen on the call? Kristen, are you there? She's been accountable to me.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm trying to convince her to also consider it. But I don't see her name, so I guess not.
She is not on today. She's actually having spring break with her son. And I had asked if she had something to share, and she does. And that is that she was supposed to go to Masters, and LPL did cancel Masters. And so I asked her, how was that for her? And she said there was a negative aspect because that's where they sometimes take their only vacation. And so they didn't do that. But then she said the positive is that her father was having a birthday party during that week, and she got to go to her dad's birthday party and spend more time with her son. So she
Nice.
took a little bit of a negative and made it a positive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you might also notice that Merle, who is usually here and will share lots, she's actually getting a cataract done where she's getting the lenses put in. These are brand new type of lenses where they can go in after they've been installed and tweak it up to 3 times. So she's got some bionic eyes after today.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm jealous. I don't want these things.
Yeah, right?
You gotta get cataracts, Christy.
But I'm working on being younger and younger every day, so I may never get cataracts. I don't know.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
you go. So Janet, you had a share that you'd like to tell the group.
Yeah, this is a little bit different. I don't know. I haven't been on this call before, so I'm not sure, exactly the format. But I have to admit, in 25 years, 26 years as an advisor, you know how we get invited to things, we participate in our clients' lives because we care about them. I honestly love a bunch of my clients. Hugs, telling them that you care, that you love them, and they say love back. So I have a client that's been using me for about 20 years, and his mom, he referred his mother to me. She's 79, the dad's 88. He was very much a do-it-yourselfer, Vanguard, one of those engineers that put, the rockets to the moon or whatever you want to call. So the thing is, he's been really sick for about a year, and he's in the hospital bed in the living room. So I knew that her daughter was going to be in town this weekend, and I said, can I come on over and have a cup of coffee with you guys? Because you want to make sure in those relationships that you have the kids all on board. Otherwise, the monies are flying out the door to some, schmo. And so basically I was over there, and they said, someone's going to come in a half an hour. You're welcome to stay. It turned out that it was a friar because they wear the brown, deal. And so basically they didn't say scram, come back, whatever. I was involved in the last rites and holding hands. And, I've only seen it on TV. So it was so powerful to be part of that process, and the bonding that, holding hands, saying some of the prayers, it really was moving. And it was like, this is why I love being an advisor and why I'm willing to put up with the bad, the ugly, because it's moments like that that keep me going to know how important we are in clients' lives. And that has completely just moved me this last few days. And it reminds me why I'm in this business. It's because of the heart, the connection, that we have with our clients, and that the power. I mean, I felt like an Ameriprise commercial, or, times 10, because, to me, that felt like a pretty big deal. So,
That is a big deal.
Yeah, it's agreed. Once the husband passes, we don't know if it's 2 days or 2 weeks, but she's like already committed to transfer the monies over. It's about $800,000. Probably after yesterday, maybe it's down $700 or $750. But it's just neat to see the referrals intergenerational, and just how fortunate we are when we take care of our people. So that was my share.
That's beautiful.
Very powerful.
Beautiful thing.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
So that was my share.
That's wonderful. And I think that probably all of us have some similar type share that we could do. And it is definitely the reason that gets me through some of the days where maybe regulations or some weird thing is like, that's it, I quit. And then I think about what you share, Janet,
The
and I have to say for
relationships.
clients.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I went through the same experience. Last Wednesday, I lost one of my clients, and I was there just a few days ahead of time, and he's 59, which is my age, and died of ALS. So we've been going through it for the last couple of years. And I tell you, when I started 26 years ago, whatever it was, I never realized that this was where I was going to be, was right in the middle of some of the most sacred places with clients as they end life. And whew. And we are very different politically. And we've had all sorts of really great conversations back and forth and this and that. And I just love them. So, we know we are all so the same on the inside and what we need as human beings, that the politics is just part of, I think, how we communicate. And maybe we need to do that to jibber jabber around, but it is those sacred blessings that we get with clients. I agree with you, Janet. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm really present too within this group, especially. I mean, when we see each other, there's hugs, there's a sisterhood, there's something even closer than that we all share. And I've started putting those kinds of things out onto my website and my emails. And I talk about the unbridled love and abundance that we are for people. And you are all ladies doing that for others. And it's wonderful that we are, as financial advisors, finally being able to talk about that kind of thing instead of modern portfolio theory, which
Amen.
is part of it, but definitely not
Small part.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other stuff is much more important.
Yeah, true.
So Leslie or anybody, anybody else want to share anything about what's going on this week or the clients or with markets? Anybody else?
I have a question. I'm just curious, like, how many of you ladies are traders? Do most of you do mutual funds and they're in and they stay in, or are any of you, like, do you trade accounts? I'm just curious. I don't know that much about anyone's business. A couple of people, but not the big body here.
What do you mean, like day trading?
Not day trading, but you make decisions on a monthly basis on what securities, are going to be purchased in an account.
This is
I
Carrie.
still build my own portfolios, much to my chagrin.
Yeah, lots of work.
I actually hire the teams to do that. I used to do it myself. I used to do the research and everything else, and found that it took away so much of those moments that Janet and Lee were talking about. That when you hire a team to do it and you give them a little bit of your commission, it frees up all of your time, and then you get people who do nothing but watch the markets and trade the accounts. And I've had some very happy clients. I've also looked at somebody who was managing accounts versus the managed hire the team approach. Hire the team approach was outperforming somebody who thought he was, the be all end all of picking funds. So it's actually proven that in my scenario that when you hire a team that's all they do, they don't get sick, they don't go on vacation, they don't meet with clients, they don't do anything else except stare at that screen and pick and move the funds, that it outperformed an individual picking and doing the research. And I think because it's a team approach and it's not just one person's opinion. So that's what's working for me. I did it one way and I decided to switch.
And I agree with that, Terry. I am trying to move over to MWP. I do have some MWP and all, but I grew up at Merrill Lynch, so that's what we did. And it's hard to let go of that, but I see all the research saying if you don't do that, the more successful FAs bring in more assets, have better revenue streams than people who are just building their own portfolios, because it is very time consuming.
Well, Regina, I used to be a stockbroker literally on Wall Street.
Oh my gosh.
And I did that, yeah, in the 90s. And that's what I did. And I did it well with, you know, the 90s were amazing. I mean, you couldn't pick a bad stock.
Yep, yep, throw the dart.
Yeah, and then 2000, and then 2000 and on, it was a different world, different ball game. And that's when I started to transition. And now I do mostly MWP, Manager Select. Yeah, it's just a different world, time consuming, and you just don't have time to deal with the other aspects of a client's financial world and life, the, you know, bigger picture, the planning part of it. So it's easy to do. I love it. Clients love it. Yeah, it really, and just takes all that pressure off you. Yeah, I mean, so I did it. So I get it. It was hard for me to let go too.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do it with new money coming in, new clients. That's how I'm transitioning.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of one of my biggest clients. You know, I was doing an account for his daughter, and I said, "Oh, well, you know, I'm going to put her into this new program. It's a really great," and I shouldn't have said it that way, first of all. And he, "No, I want you to do for her what you do for me." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, you know what I did for my existing clients? I just offered them the option initially.
Okay.
And it
That's good.
surprised me how many like the new, you know, the model wealth, how many really appreciated it and said, yeah, let's do it.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and also Regina, I was like you, I came from Merrill, I was the portfolio manager and I was using the Dorsey Wright relative strength. And when I hired this coach, they were asking me, why do clients use you? And I was like, my superior portfolio management. And they'd laugh. And I'm like, no, really? No, and they'd laugh. And so they've taught me, and for those of you who are going to do the LPL-CEG thing, there's a neat way of getting to know a client. And it sounds like many of you are already doing it. And I mean, to the point of where you know the pet's name. Right, Janet? I mean, Janet's got her dog. She's showing us her dog. The pets are really important. And I used to be like, I don't want to know their pet's name. And in over the years, I realized that my own thinking was in my way of getting people off of my management and onto MWP. Because once I started inviting people to do it and they did it, it was my own stinking thinking. Clients actually liked it, and I did it with my family first. Right. And then I think, Terry, you said this, but when I listened to the LPL research team and all the things that they're doing and all the research they're doing, that's way beyond what I was doing. And so why wouldn't, the team would be better. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything changes so much quicker than it used to. And that's, so yeah, I agree. I just have to speed up my change.
Yeah, and one of the things that I did just to get myself over is just one small sweet step, right? What am I going to do today to have that happen? It might be one client or learning about one aspect of it, but whatever works for you. Yeah.
I also found that, oh, I'm sorry, did I interrupt somebody?
No, I just said thank you.
Oh, I also found that as women, we could actually use perception in the world about women to our advantage, to where sometimes our male counterparts, it's all about their ego and they are the best that could ever possibly be. I think clients hear that out of men more than they do out of women. And the fact that I've said, look, I know that I am not the smartest person that ever entered this earth. And so what I do is I lean on those who that's all they do. And they're trained in this. So when I actually take that I don't know what word I want at the moment, but when I take that stance, it actually makes their shoulders come down. It's like, oh, okay, I'm not dealing with an ego right now. I'm dealing with somebody who actually cares about me. And that, in my profession, that's why clients come to me, is because of the way I explain them. And typically it's to a woman's advantage when we use our nurturing skills above and use that with the client experience above, leaning on the research skills. So you know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. Great feedback.
Authentic.
So I'd like to weigh in on this too. So we have moved over to a new OSJ in August, and I just always follow what LPL recommends on my swim accounts. And my daughter's doing the trading right now. I just hired her in September to do the trading. She was doing trading for the OSJ before that. So she was one of the people on the team that you would delegate to. So she just moved over and did mine. But we have said that by the end of this year, we're going to figure out who we can delegate that to. We can do it. And we do just follow LPL pretty much. They tell us what the percentages are and the top recommendeds, and we, choose the recommendeds, things like that. And I do use some separate money managers because I've found that for clients who want a little bit more growth and need some tax sensitivity, it's better to use some separate money managers. But Lee, I'd also like to, if you're willing to share, you've got a real unique portfolio, so I don't know, if you want to open that up, but there's a lot of really cool things you're doing.
So Laura, I think you and I line up probably the best. And that was why I was curious if people are trading their own accounts. And then I was kind of curious, if you're in that world, are you building your team? Because that was about the time that Laura and I met. And she was working to bring her daughter into her business because, she wanted some, help in the business that would free her up to do some of the things that she wants to do. And I came into a business that my father developed over about 25 years. He owned pretty exclusively closed-end funds, and they have kind of some unique qualities to them. But the kind of the big one is that they create a great deal of income in the portfolio. All of my clients own the same basket of funds. I, of course, own everything, and my clients are very income driven. And I don't know that there would be a program out there that I could replace what I'm doing with, an already built, model. I also cannot do the advisor sleeve because of the way closed-end funds tend to trade. They are a mutual fund, they have a net asset value, but then they trade on the open market at either a premium or a discount to their net asset value. And that changes on a day-to-day basis, particularly in a market like this. And so I have to be very, very structured in what we're buying. So I was just, I kind of reached out to Christy, and I'm newer, I'm not new, but I'm newer to LPL. I've only been here about 2.5 years. Like I said, I met Laura about a year ago this time. Okay, put it on your big head, Laura, because meeting Laura changed my life, really. From a lot of standpoints. I mean, I enjoyed her on a very personal level. Boy, she and I just reconnected.
We sat next to each other blah, blah, blah. You thought we'd known each other for years. It's so funny.
Just the best time. And that was one of the reasons I was really looking forward to the conference in Newport. I was really looking forward to getting to know a few of the other ladies, on a more personal level. So I was kind of bummed when, the conferences were canceled, but, I understand, and that's fine. But I just was kind of curious. I honestly cannot possibly wrap my brain around, and don't think that I haven't given it tons and tons of thought. My entire book of business is built on closed-end funds. And I just can't find anyone else out there that does it. So I don't see myself ever kind of moving over to another managed portfolio. So what I've, begun to do is I now have my daughter, she's going to kill me right now. Say hello to the world. Hi, world.
Hi.
Anyway, sorry about that. I kind of yanked on my cord anyway, so I am, sorry, I've got to get my Zoom back up here, but I am building my team to allow me to kind of do what you ladies have figured out how to do better than I have. I have a very similar experience to what happened to Janet last week. Laura, I had 2 clients pass away within 2 days of each other. 2 clients. So Tuesday I get a call that a very dear, and these are both very dear clients. I am with you ladies. I believe that we make connections with our clients in a way that I love my father and he's a brilliant man, but he never connected to the clients in the way that I do. I really do believe that. And that's not patting myself on the back. It's because we have the capacity to, I think, you know, connect on a deeper level. And then I had the good fortune on Friday of, I had a long day. I was out, I met with 3 different clients in their homes or, you know, at a restaurant. And, you know, it just kind of like, I needed that on Friday because losing 2 clients during the week, you know, was really like, you know, it was really bumming me out. I was really sad. And, you know, the things that we do for our clients, you know, that's why I feel really blessed to be a member of this group, because we are so unique and we really, I think we really embrace that, and we really work to shore each other up. So I just want to say thank you to all the ladies. Thank you for sharing it. It is helpful. It really is helpful. You all have helped me in ways that, you know, you probably won't ever even know about.
Thank you for that share. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was, and thank you to the daughter.
Can we say something about Janet's baby?
Oh, he's so cute.
Adorable.
He's so cute.
So cute.
Yeah. And while you're trying to figure out how to unmute, I can unmute you. You're, no, I can't.
So, and
Unmute myself, thanks.
so going back to Lee for just a minute, one of the things, if you want to think about this, is you stay with what you're doing with core, if you're comfortable and happy, and you hire a junior to move in a different direction. And like some of the ladies were saying, you know, when you bring in new accounts, new things, if you want to do it that way, you just start from that beginning.
Right. I
or
totally
your
agree.
daughter, depending on what she's going to do in the business. So
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
yeah.
Great coaching. Great coaching.
Yeah.
On the chat, Tracy Miller is asking, who uses advisor sleeve? Anybody? Not yet. I might sometime in the future, but right now I just don't want to run anything. So, and my clients are happy. So I hope, Tracy, that answers your question.
Yeah, well, I really like, I like using advisor sleeve because on my SAM accounts, I've got real similar models, but on SAM, I've got the same issues. I've got some closed-end funds and some interval funds and stuff like that. But then anybody that's new, well, I just pull up my proposal. It's easy to get from my advisor sleeve. This is my portfolio. And then I've made a model. I've made 4 different models right now, but you get 10. And so I'm just trying to, I need to make a tax efficient version of my models. But it's working, you know, it's working a lot. And especially, now, so what else I did is, you know, the models will give you the score. So you get the, you know, the aggressive of 80 to 100 range. And, you know, so most of my clients are around the 50 to 60 range, you know, but you get to see, you know, the risk-realized risk score on all of them. And then like right now I've got them on the conservative side of the scale, but I'm getting ready. In fact, I should have done yesterday, but today I'm going to be moving them up a little bit, like 5 points up on the risk scale, and they're all going to automatically balance out, you know, and then that helps me do a little bit more of a rebound capture, you know. So the thing that I think I've got figured out, maybe, I'm not sure, and that's when I use the bullet shares, because, you know, I've got those laddered bonds. I don't want them rebalancing. I want them to just sit there, you know. And so what I've decided is I think if I can, I'm not sure, if I just get them all set to an annual rebalance in January, since all my bullet shares go liquid in December, around December 19th, then do my rebalance after the replacement's done in January, when I do that replacement ladder part. But that's, and I think if I can get that done, then I can keep working with that. But that was my thing that I don't like, is when I was setting them up, I had some quarterly rebalance, some semi-annual rebalance, you know, I was like all over the place. And then I don't really want to rebalance my laddered bond, you know, but I think I figured out how to get around that.
That's great. Yeah.
So the other new thing we're doing, I just went to my OSJ retreat a week ago, and they offer that we can do retainer on a monthly subscription. and we can put it on a credit card for the client. So one of the things that we're going to be testing out this year, immediately next week, I've got a client who's interested in doing it that way. She's a business owner. And so we're going to charge $299 a month and just have me on retainer. Whether I take in assets under management or not won't matter. And then I'll just provide financial planning for her and discussions about financial issues, putting her on the My eMoney website. So that way, you know, market goes down and some of my revenue does not go down, which will be nice in the future. So we're working on trying to bring in some revenue that is not market generated. We've always done financial plans, so that's something that we do as well. But I'm going to really look at this subscription situation, especially for business owners, because I think that that way we can, you know, keep good conversations going and get paid for our advice, but not necessarily have the pressure of the actual portfolio.
And so Laura, would you tell the ladies, is that available to all advisors, or is that just through your own RIA?
This is through our RIA. I don't know if LPL will do it in the future, but I know one of the things I did with LPL when I was core is I had a couple of clients with eMoney on the maintenance agreement only, and you can charge whatever you want there. Well, up to a fee. I mean, probably up to 5,000 or whatever. But you can do that. And we didn't do it on a monthly, but we did it on a one time so that they would pay at the beginning of the year and they would be able to use my eMoney, see me once or twice a year. And we did it that way.
Okay.
So can I ask a question, Janet, here? So
Yeah.
Is it one of the larger RIAs or do you have your own RIA?
No, I'm in one of the larger enterprises.
Is it?
Yeah, I was an
independent?
OSJ for 10 years and decided I didn't want that. That's
Yeah.
way too much supervision for all sorts of things.
Is it independent advisor online or independent? What is it? The name of the
Well,
company?
you can look at my website and see. It's just one of the it's one of our enterprise guys.
Okay, got it. I'll take a look.
And just so you know that the LPL is allowing for credit card for certain things. So I would suggest wherever you are in the corporate or RIA or OSJ,
Right.
you're interested in doing something like Laura's doing, that probably available.
I'm going to have to make the request because they don't offer it right now. Thank you for mentioning that. That's good.
Yeah. Does anybody else have a share that they would like a celebration or a frustration or anything about this week or yesterday?
If no one has anything, I've got just something I want to share with the group as a warning.
Okay, bring it.
Can I jump in?
Jump in.
I'll keep it short. Compliance issue with trading. I use MWP, I do swim too, I use a lot of dimensional, and I do individual ETFs periodically, just to keep the fees low, smaller accounts sometimes. It's just easy peasy. Advisory account, I don't charge the client because she has so many other assets with me because it transferred in as an advisory, and I probably meant to convert it at one point, but I just kind of, didn't see it. So I go in, there's $2,680 in cash. She's got two positions, VTI and EFA. So I put in a trade for $1,000, what I thought was $1,000 into each one. Guess what Janet did? Bought 1,000 shares.
Oh.
1,000 shares, guys, at 165 and 60.
Woohoo! Show me your money.
So I notice, I watch my trades, I pick it up because it's after hours. I pick it up the next morning and I go, man, did my manager put a move money or do something weird here? And I tracked it. And I was on the phone like 11:15 and our market closes at 1. And I'm like, guys, there is an error and it needs to be fixed. It's inadvertent, 1,000 shares versus $1,000. It was a negative 225. And I had to work on the phone for them to bust the trade, sell it. And then on that call, they should have purchased. And so it didn't get purchased. It opened at the next morning. Things had dropped. And so the account dropped. When I had to buy it, it was down 8% just in one night. And so by the time the trade was settled and everything, the dollar amount that I'm short, I was going to have you guys guess, but maybe not, $17,350. I was moving quickly. I was making purchases. This was on the 24th, 25th. And I can't believe that the error went through because where are the safety mechanisms? Because why didn't the computer say you don't have enough in cash? It's a Roth IRA. Roth IRAs do not have lines of margin. So there were so many things where I'm kind of dealing with compliance now. It's taking 10 times the effort to fix. And it's not going to appear on my CRD or anything like that. But the accountability to FINRA on a simple mistake is huge. So I just want to say, when we're doing those trades, you got to slow down. I usually do. This is my first trade error in 26 years, but it is painful. And I'm at least okay financially where I can kind of swing it. But I just want to say, in this high quickly moving market, closed-end funds, ETFs, some of these things that, you really can kind of get hurt. So just saying to share with the group, be careful. So anywho, I'm trying to turn it into a positive. I'll never do that again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
I want to
you
hear
took
my
lessons.
story. I got a crazy story.
Share.
Okay, so in my portfolios, I have them, the equity portion is 50% mutual funds, about 50% ETFs. So all through, for a long time, I've been having a 7% drop stop. So that on the ETFs. So with a 7% drop, then the ETFs will sell, which will mean that half of my equity sell, right? So that triggered. And so a couple of them hit the first day and the rest of them hit the second day. And so then I'm out, right? So then you got to form your strategy, make sure, and I'm communicating with my people, pretty regularly. So I went in, I put a 5% up buy. So when it dropped 7%, then on the 5% increase, so if it hit right away, I would be down 2% on about a fourth of the portfolio. So I thought, well, a 0.5%, I can overcome if it just buys right away. But, went down, and as it would go down, we'd lower our order. Well, what happened to me is I entered them as limit buys and not stop buys. So lucky, I'd only done 3, okay? And then I got in the next morning, I was talking to my client on the phone about what I did, and then he said, well, he wanted to know what his percent of cash, what his cash percent was. And I'm like, when I get to the office, I'll go to the office, and I went, I sold those. How come they're in the account? And I found out that I just immediately bought them back with the limit. So anyway, I had to do a trade correction, $57,000.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. So I went back and I got all my stop buys entered, and it was it was because I was in a hurry. It was one of those things that it's like I need to make sure I get my orders entered, because I'm telling everybody on the phone on the 5% up, And I thought I'd better not miss that 5% up. So each one had its own measurement. Well, on the whole schematic of everything, we got between about a 2 to 3% differential on the buy and the sell, to the advantage of the client. But if you look at the whole, okay, well, it's on about a fourth of the portfolio. You have a 2 to 3% increase on a fourth of the portfolio. I did everything for a 0.5%, and it cost me a lot of money. But I look at it this way. I learn sometimes the hard way, and this is a lesson that definitely made an impact, that will definitely never be repeated again, if you know what I mean. But
Yes. Yeah.
but we're back in. I only got a little bit of an advantage. The advantage ended up being less than my error, and that was frustrating for me. And it was a lot of work, but it's a story, So on those ETFs, I am going to have a 2% higher on the rebound, and I was hoping that what happened like yesterday would have happened sooner, so I could have adjusted my buyback, down to keep my 5%. But once it hit, well, I can't go through the whole thing again because you can't get stopped in. It's not a good time to stop anymore. So
Well, Tracy,
anyway.
I got to share, in 2018, when I was running my own, a lot of my own portfolio still, I had a lot of the stops. And in 2018, you guys might remember, there was that one day where the market went way down and then way back to the same point in the same day.
The
It was
flash
August.
crash.
My
It was
stop
August.
sold out.
Yep.
It went back up, and the client is looking at the account on the same day going, why did we sell way down here? And I lost a $3 million client because of that. And I got to tell you, ever since then, using my MWP, nice compounding over time, I don't have to worry about those things. I've never lost a client because of it. And I don't have the headaches. I don't have to worry about E&O or compliance. Just for me anyway, that's what works for me. I would be bald. I'd be pulling my hair out. I'd be a bald advisor.
I learned in the 90s that stop losses are not a good thing because the market bounces back so often.
It's just crazy.
And they sold out, and then it bounces back, and okay, now what? Yeah, no.
Right.
And WP is a beautiful thing.
Did any of you utilize the letters that LPL Research put out the past couple of days? Because the one they put out last night, I did send, and I have gotten rave reviews from my clients about that.
The one from Friday is also much shorter. Also from Buckbinder, that was also an excellent one. Yeah.
I just have to say, Tracy, thank you so much. That was such an honest story, and we don't often talk about our failures or the things we're doing wrong. And I really appreciate everyone who's just said, how hard this is. There are parts of this business that are truly so hard. Thank you so much. I don't send out those letters only because, I don't know. I'm using Rep Chat a lot, and I'm sending out small blips. I took Ryan Dietrich's chart that he put out a couple of days ago, and I shared it on social media, took a copy of it, and what he said, although we don't know if the market's, at the end, blah, 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 it was just like a 3-sentence, and I popped that out on Rep Chat, and I'm getting a lot of real good positive feedback because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I want to honor Sheila and all of her team's work in helping us to be able to not have to put our own words through compliance and then come back and by the time we get all that done, it'd be old.
When they settle.
So thank you,
Hey,
Sheila.
thanks, Chris. Oh, thanks, Christy. We are trying, and we are here for all of you. So I think it would be just helpful to share that the caring and the thoughtfulness on this team is very deep. So Bert, Jeff, and Ryan, and thanks for mentioning all of them. They are working around the clock. So the care on the letters, I can tell you being on email with them late at night, working on the messaging. They're deeply committed, obviously, but and I wanted to share that we will continue to ramp up client letters as we need to, and as we speak, Bert is finishing filming a special street view video that we hope to release as soon as possible. So I'll give this group a heads up when it's out, but it will be focusing on coronavirus market impacts, and this will be for client use. So more to come, and let us know what more we can do. We're here to help.
Our heartfelt thank you for all the work you guys do. Really, thank you. It helps us all in so many ways. So let's see if you guys want to spend 10 minutes, you gals, ladies, I'm going to get that. Let me share my screen and let's just do 10 minutes worth of thinking of, so can you guys see the Elite Mastermind Women 2020? Let's see. I want to do an advanced share.
Yes.
I want to do advanced. I want to go like this. And I'm going to say share.
Love the colors.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
My women colors. Doggone it, it's not going to share right. Let me just share it like this then. Basic share. All right. Real quickly, and if you'll get out a piece of paper and a pencil, we are going to. I might not be able to here. Darn it. Okay, are you guys seeing, what are you guys seeing? Please, somebody tell me.
Elite Mastermind Women 2020.
All right, thank you.
Slide.
All right. So now you're seeing March recovery?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right. Last month we talked about making some great big goals. We had that we wanted to put down specific goals with measurable results, with time frames on them. But now let's think about how do we recover, because we're always going and doing, and knowing all of you and some of the personalities that we have, we would probably just keep going. And it's almost more important to have that recovery time, that in between our sprints, that makes us even more productive, that makes us even more loving human beings for others. So as we go through March, let's think about, with intention, how are we taking care of ourselves and each other, especially in this group? So we are going to talk about improving our recovery, and doing less actually accomplishes more. Does anybody have an example of when they were actually doing less that more got done? An example from me is while I was traveling to Australia, I'm off on vacation, spending time with my husband and watching animals and experiencing a great vacation. My team is set up, we're ready to go, and I bring in 2 new clients. So in a way,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was being able to do less and rejuvenate, and we were bringing in new clients. If somebody thinks of another one, please do share. But what we're thinking about here is, you want to first of all set the goal. So if we have a ladder that's on the wrong wall and we're going up the ladder, we're making sure that our goals are set to what we really want to do. And again, Ben Franklin keeps coming up to me. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. In Elite Mastermind Women, we don't fail. We might have to try something and that doesn't work, and we move and pivot to the next thing, right? Makes sense? And some of the things that I've been doing lately, like my journaling, I've noticed that I journal about the same way every day. And I was thinking about how Napoleon Hill said a good shock can help the brain. And if you have this habit that you do all the time, you almost do it unconsciously, and you're not really conscious of what you're doing, what your attention is, what your goal is. So doing the same thing every day, like, do you drive to the office the same way? Do you go to the gym and do the same workouts? What do you do at work? Are you always doing the same thing? Or if you're having dinner with a loved one, try to change it up a little bit. Using the brain and changing the muscles, as you all know, will make the growth happen. So let's look at our intention of what we are doing on a daily basis. So as we write, let's write down some things here. What we want to think about here for just a moment is what are the biggest impacts if we have an 80-20 rule, like 80% of some activity. So Irene, it might be the running.
That's what I was just writing down.
Exactly, right? So there are some big impacts in your life, and if we can have 3 to 5 of those, and please have at least one of them being part of your recovery. And running could be the recovery. For me, it's tea and drink, reading books in the evening, right? So 3 to 5 activities that really propels you in success. And if you'd have one of them be about work, if you want to, one of them be about personal life. Now, what are 3 to 5 activities that are actually creating friction in your life and keeping you stuck and keeping you who you are today? And that might be, for me, it could be watching TV for too many hours. It could be getting on your social media and just clicking around without being intentional. It could be at night you're having too many drinks. It could be at night you're just consuming too much. I don't know. Whatever it is for you, that you're realizing that this does create friction. And as we're thinking about our future self, and for me, I'm more healthy than I am now. I'm younger, I'm sexier, I'm more successful. That future self, what does that future self do today? And today, if I'm consuming too much or watching too much TV or not paying attention to my friends, my family, then I won't be that future self. Does everybody have something written down for both of those? Okay, thank you. For your future self, let's come from that person you've pictured, what you're doing, how successful you are, what your family is like. Why is the world different? Because you are in it and doing what you do every day. On your calendar, let's make sure that you have a routine that you are doing. Now, you might do that routine a little bit differently each day, but come from your future self. Make sure that you have on your evening routines. If you're intentional about what you do in the evenings and thinking about what you're doing the next day, you don't have to use your willpower, right? And morning routines, especially. When are you reading? When are you running? When are you with loved ones? So with intention, let's have for March what your evening and morning routines are, and have some of that be your recovery time. One of the fun things for me from my future self back in 2014 is I was interviewing centers of influence about people, women who own businesses and women who are widows. And that was sensational. All the wisdom, that's amazing. So thinking again from your future self, what is it that you want to focus on? What will produce the greatest results? So if you'll write them down, have your brain percolating on them. If you've already made a big goal, make it just a little bit bigger. A lot of times our goals are too small and we can't imagine that our future self can do as much as we really can do. And what must be eliminated from our daily lives? And what do you need to systematize so that you will remember to do it each day? It might even be, for me, I had to write down, I am drinking tea and I am having celery, and I had some specifics to make sure that I didn't have to think about what am I going to eat and drink. So some of the recovery examples that I use for me that you guys, gals, might actually take on or find something similar is my journaling every morning is big recovery. Being with family, reading books, and no electronics after 8 p.m. And respect that when you make that schedule from your future self, respect it and say no to some of the fun things that might come up your way. It's important to say no. I'm someone who says yes to everything, and I bet some of you are the same way. People want you to be on their boards. People want you to help with this client party. So make sure saying no is very important. And a friend of mine, Ben Hardy, talked about how willpower doesn't work, because by the end of the day, you've made so many decisions that just using willpower just doesn't work. And we try to do that. So having a decision already made where you don't have to think about it is what will help you have the most success. And plan, and share with each other. It's great seeing the Elite Mastermind Women on the Facebook, how we're sharing our goals, how we're celebrating with each other. And hopefully this March, thinking of recovery is a good topic. And so I have like 1 to 2 minutes left. Would anybody like to share maybe something that came up, made the lists?
Hey, Christy.
Oh, sorry, Darlene.
I do.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to jump in real quick because one of our members did something outstanding last Friday that I just wanted to give a great shout out, because I've gotten so many people contacting me about how outstanding it was, and it was our 2 calls on Friday. Laura, you did awesome. And so many people valued you sharing. I mean, that was just
Yes,
over the top.
wonderful.
Oh my gosh. So I just wanted to give a shout out that that's a good example of saying yes to something that was so valuable to other members. And she had to say no to something else to share her time with us like that. So Laura, that was outstanding. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Laura.
you, Laura.
Aw, she's doing kisses. You have to
But I don't know how to share it. So Christy, I need to find out from you how to share that recording, because I don't know how to do that yet. We just purchased Zoom last Monday, so I had to learn it during the week. So I was like, oh my God.
I will be happy to help you with that. It's fun and easy. So we'll do that.
Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else want to have a last minute share? I love this group. Thank you so much. And we want to make sure that that March is all about recovery and doing less to be able to do more.
So it's funny that you're mentioning all of these things, Christy, because I'm going through this going, okay, well, my downtime is 2 hours in front of the TV just to kind of shut my brain off. And if I don't do that, I notice that I don't sleep well because I don't have that, wasted time moments where I'm not thinking about anything. Maybe I'm playing on Facebook, that kind of thing, but that's true. Playing solitaire, but I need a couple of hours of, I'm not going to process anything difficult. But what that does, I struggle with that because I think, well, this is 2 hours that I'm in a book club. I could be reading. There could be something I could be researching. And I struggle against that all the time. But one of the things that I've noticed is, I've in the last year plus, I've opened up my own firm. I've become a U.S. community leader with MDRT. I'm affiliated with a very large firm in New Jersey now that was hunting for a female advisor they couldn't find. And I've accomplished all of these things. So I think for me, I have to stop feeling guilty for giving myself the downtime.
Yes, and that's what March is about. Give yourself the downtime. That recovery time is so important. And for you, it might be mindless TV. And I used to do that. And for me, what I do is not right for you guys, gals. But for me, I realized that consumption, which was just mindless, I could be consuming, in this case, a video or something that is more constructive for me. So there are great YouTubes. What I've recently done is audiobooks, and I put the audiobook on 2 times so it talks quickly enough that my brain takes it in. So it's just something to think about. What's right for you? Thank you for sharing that, Terry.
And I have one more share real quick. My CFP article is coming out tomorrow. And I know I asked this group if you'd give me some of your words of wisdom, so you'll be surprised or happy, I hope, to see that there is a little bit of mention about the Elite Women's group in the article, and that I did ask you for your opinions, and so you'll even see some of the actual words that you said. So thank you very much. Namaste. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, what a great group. We appreciate
Truly.
you, Laura. You are really in action. So we are at the end of our time, a little bit over. I apologize, but please, let's continue the conversation in the private Facebook group, and let's keep in touch. Since we can't go to the conferences together, maybe we can do another Zoom together.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Well,
Thanks. Bye. Have a great day. Bye.
thank you. Bye, Laura.